Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. This is Global Conquerors podcast known as Conquest, Season 2, Episode 12? 12, I think. If not 12, it's 13, but you'll see it in the description. You know the drill. It's me, your host, Frenzy, joined with your co-host.
Assassin or Angel, but you don't really need a. It's 12 to be exact.
12? Okay.
So yeah, or Angel. Me as always.
Yep.
Um, back for the weekly podcast. So yeah, um,
Yep.
got a little couple topics we could talk about this week. Nothing really crazy, or like not a lot of info, but there's a lot of good crazy information in the gaming aspect, and then also with general.
Yeah.
Uh, get into it.
Yeah, we'll
So
just go right into it. We're going to start off with one of the bigger esports scenes. Rocket League is having a rough year already, and the RLCS season hasn't even started yet. I'm sure you've probably seen, but I think we've talked about it, that the prize pool for Rocket League's gone down drastically this year. And on top of it, for some reason, despite the prize pool going down, the tournaments, especially the open tournaments, are distributing the prize pool to over 128 teams, which means the top teams are now earning less. And bottom teams, I guess, like if you're a bottom team, this is great for you because you finish like in 128th, you get $300 and you leave.
you get paid. You
Yeah,
get paid for doing bad.
yeah, which is like, I don't
Not
think we've seen an esport do anything like this in a long, long
Fortnite.
time. Fortnite,
Fortnite
think
World
of
Cup to be exact. Everyone got paid, even if your
Fortnite
team
has
left.
money for that though, you know.
But I'm just saying, like you said the last time esports did that, it's probably did that.
Mhm.
But other than that, I just know that usually depending on the type of tournament,
Yeah.
I guess I think the top 8 or 12 get paid, and then no one else gets.
Mhm.
But it's obviously there's like a decrease in the pricing depending on placements, but
Yeah.
um, majority of they usually give out prize money to like top 5, right?
That's
Usually,
generally
or
depending on like just in general esports or which specific one.
just in general,
In
like depending
general,
on the
it's
depending on the esports.
depending on esports, usually if it's a tournament with at least 20, 30 teams, the top 10 get something, and then that's about it. At worst, it'd be top 5, and obviously the first place would have a massive prize pool, and then it decreases by like half or so each time. But funny you bring up Fortnite because, as you know, Rocket League is owned by Epic Games now. So it seems they're applying the Fortnite model to Rocket League, but at the same time, Rocket League is suffering, like I said. So you have a lower price pool, but also more teams are getting paid out. You have a lot of casters that were in the Rocket League scene are now being dropped by the RLCS going forward, both from the NA and EU side. And then also a lot of teams are pulling out of Rocket League. A lot of pros are starting to retire and move on to other things. So the RLCS, Rocket League Esports as a whole, is
Starting
not
to
looking at a good
collapse,
spot. Yeah.
starting to collapse in front of our eyes, and yeah, I mean it's a good thing for the teams that are on the lower end of it, but detrimental to the teams on the top.
Mm.
Obviously, the point of winning the tournament, you want a bigger prize pool because you won the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
So I see it as a good and a bad thing. Good thing that I mean, obviously, it shouldn't be like that. But for let's just say for orgs that are like financially struggling, this could be a good thing for them in a way. But if it wasn't that the situation, I don't think it's the right way. It just feels like, I mean, the hour you put in, why should the guy in last place get anything if he didn't win or even try to win?
Yeah.
And versus the guy who won and got a little less because everyone else gets paid.
Hmm.
So it's a weird way to like take it and think about it. But it is there's like you can see there's a pros and cons for this like thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, um, but there's really I really don't know how to explain it because I don't really watch the Rocket League scene, so I don't know how big their viewership is.
Okay.
You know it more than I do. Um,
I mean, Rocket League has. I would say
Decent,
it's
right?
in the top 6 or 7, depending on the major for viewership. You can see these, especially when they have their big majors and finals with Rocket League World Championship, can get up to like 1 million. So it's up there in esports, but I don't know. I'm not sure. I think this is just the consequence of esports winter hitting another big esport where funding is just being pulled away and teams are wanting to focus on the top three biggest esports, with that being like CS, League, and then depending on who you ask, Val or Dota. So a lot of the smaller esports are seeing a lot of teams pull away. So, but we'll see how it affects the Rocket League season. They're just getting started, so a lot can change or a lot can go wrong. So there's that. And
I'm
on
not even started with the season yet, and it's already hectic.
Yeah, that's the wild part, but it's just we'll see what happens to a lot of esports this year. It's going to be really interesting. But on a more positive note, Riot Games with their league side has been popping off recently. The LEC introduced a new team called Carmine Corps. If you know them, they are a French team, and they are one of the biggest European esports orgs with like an insane fan base. And the LEC, the League European Championship Series, they usually like average like 500K a match, right? Carmine
Hmm.
Corps, every time they play, an additional 200 to 300K come to watch. So they've been like nearing that million average watch time on the LEC recently, and this has been insane. And then over on the LCK, obviously, anytime T1 plays, I don't even have to say anything. But T1's Academy team now has been drawing in viewership as well because they picked up Reckless from Fnatic, and their first two matches have had now the highest viewed Academy match ever in League history at a million concurrent
Are they
viewers.
good? They're pretty good, right?
Yeah, they're good, but they've lost their first two games, unfortunately. Both 2-1. You can tell they're still trying to adjust considering that they have a European player who has to learn Korean. So communication issues aside, I think
But
they'll get
but
better.
it is a good way to get more eyes. You have a European, I guess, a Korean.
Yeah.
So it brings eyes to like, why this guy out of all? Why not another Korean to play for our academy? Why
Mm.
a European? Like, what was there? Like you're trying to figure out why, and it brings like eyes to T1, and obviously that at academy team, obviously brings eyes to a bunch of I guess players that in the academy, I guess the academy league or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Some eyes and viewership because, like you said, the viewership has been pretty high for them,
Mm.
more than usual. You said
Oh yeah, by far.
so. I see it as like a good thing, marketing way.
Mm.
More eyes to that. I guess what that league.
Yeah, the Korean Academy League. So
So and it brings eyes to T1. So it does brings up European uh,
yeah.
to their side. So yeah,
No, it's good for them. And then also more league stuff. The LCS, our home league, started up as we're recording this yesterday, and
they
they
were playing.
had yeah they're playing and
Playing
yeah yeah
go
and
ahead. Sorry.
no, you're good. You're good. As we talked about before, obviously the LCS has two less teams because they dropped both EG and Immortals for a multitude of reasons. But with that came a lot of changes. The LCS got a new commissioner. They're doing things a bit differently, unlike the other leagues where they're trying to draw in more viewership because LCS viewership has been going down a lot. And one way that they're drawing in more viewership is by playing on the most recent update, which has its own issues, but also allows people to see pros play on the latest patch, unlike other leagues, you know? There's also the fact that the LCS was notorious for having a lot of downtime in between matches. They've basically cut all that out now. So, like, once a match finishes, 5 minutes later, the next match is starting up. So, the LCS was like live yesterday for 4 hours for four matches, which is really rare.
An hour per match, almost.
Yeah, exactly. That's really,
He,
really good for what they previously it was like 8 hours for six matches. So they've
they dragged on a lot. Just for the I guess they're trying to get a lot of sponsorships. I
come
guess
a little closer to your
time
mic.
that oh shit.
You're good.
Sorry. They're trying to give a lot more sponsorship, like screen time, I guess you could call.
Hmm.
But I mean, just with a certain amount they do already, they can.
Yeah,
So not a bad thing. Um, it is a lot more. I mean, it's better to it's better to watch a game if you're like, oh my god, this game was intense, I'm ready like for the next one.
Hmm.
That's perfect because you're getting thrown into the next one, and it's better for I guess their time schedules.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, obviously there'll be a couple delays, but I mean sometimes delays. I mean they could drag on for a couple minutes or an hour. But it just really depends. But I think it makes everything a lot more cleaner and smoother
Hmm.
instead of just having to wait, watching the same, almost the same ads over and over.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, you'll watch it one way through, and then you watch it again. Um, obviously, the analysts and like the people that obviously talk about the game and the way they fill in time,
Mm.
but obviously, why do it again after the match when you talk about it in the beginning of the match?
Yeah.
It just saves time. I mean, they talk about like, hey, this is what you want to see this team to do and this team do and that team do, or you could, I mean, between the 5 minutes that switching teams they could cover. I don't know. I didn't. I haven't been able to watch this. Yeah, you explain.
Now that you brought that up, because that's one thing that they did is like right after the match finishes, analysts talk for 3 minutes. They go straight to a 5 minute break, and during the 5 minute break, there's a new screen that pops up, and they're interviewing the team that just played. In the background, you can see the other team now setting up. And when that interview is done, they're already into the draft for the next match, and they just go right into it. So there's like no downtime. It's just constant, ongoing matches, which is it's been really nice. It's been really nice. So.
Hopefully they continue that on with throughout the year for just not just for them, but like all around every other.
Mhm.
I just feel like I mean the only time I understand that there's a bunch of downtime is if there's technical issues with
Yeah.
every game. That's understandable. But there should be no real reason to drag on so much about the game or the sponsorship. Because half the time you're seeing the same thing over and over and over.
Yeah.
So yeah, it should always be like this in my opinion. I mean it cuts production costs too. I mean I would assume so.
Yeah.
So it should be. I mean it should help a lot. Um, but yeah, I mean, I haven't watched any other games. I was about to watch the North America um, uh, league,
Hmm.
but I got caught up with time and like wasn't maybe able to. So I wasn't. I was gonna watch a match before on, but I could. But that's not the point. Just know that the new way they're doing it, it's better and better for the viewers instead of people getting bored and watching. Like I said, watch because we went to Worlds and we saw the same ad so many times, over and over again. Almost think about it. There's only 2 matches, and I feel like I saw the same ad more than I watched gameplay.
Maybe.
So it's a lot better now. So I don't have a problem with it. It
Mm.
cuts down time, cuts down production time, costs it cuts down price or like costs for the league, so they could use that money elsewhere or better production towards the end of the the
And the split.
yeah, there you
Yep.
go.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff for the
I hope I didn't
LCS.
sound faded when I was saying any of that.
No, you're
Hopefully
good.
not.
No, you're good. You're right on it. So like, it's better for the LCS, like you said, because if they're also live for less hours, that means people aren't getting paid out for those additional hours, I guess. Or like you said, they save more on
They
a lot of
save
things. And again, also for the fan experience, fans will now have more reason to tune in instead of like tuning out when there's a big like block when they don't want to watch, say, that analysts talk for like half an hour or whatever. So it seems to be good all around for everybody involved. So hopefully they keep it up. It's pretty good, promising first day. But on to the next part. I think you might have seen this. Samsung tagged
yeah.
the wrong Valkyrie in their post, and she was messing around with them. And one of Samsung's social media managers blocked her. Then they had to come back the next day and unblock her and apologize. I'm just sitting here like, why did you block her in the first place?
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know why. It was funny though. I saw it on Twitter before
Mhm.
because I follow her on Twitter and I saw like literally a minute ago she like, hey, that's not me.
Mhm.
Then the next thing I know, there's like it was going like viral that she got blocked by Samsung,
Yeah.
which I don't know they didn't know. but someone on them is getting fired for not knowing who that was and not. Who knows? Unless they were doing it for clicks, I don't think they did. I think it was just was an error they made.
No, yeah, it was definitely
Uh,
an error.
it was funny though. It was funny. And then she got blocked, and it was ever so. Yeah. Then I saw Samsung posted an apology,
Mm-hmm.
which I wasn't expecting because it's so trolly. Samsung, an apology to just a person. It was funny though, and obviously it's a big deal in the gaming world. So it was covered on almost every news outlet on the gaming aspect.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny though.
Yeah, that stuff
So,
happens. I don't know what that Samsung employee was thinking when he blocked her. It's just it was a mistake. She just said it's not me, and the dude just went block. Like what? Okay,
okay.
but yeah,
Wait,
huh?
is it what I think we're talking about next is the Halo thing?
Yeah,
You think I could input one thing
yeah, go
out
for
of
it.
the book? So I don't know if you heard there was a controversial thing. There's this podcast that came out. I don't know the exact. I think they called the Drop Shot podcast, and they talked about Warzone versus CDL. I don't know if you saw it. It was
Oh
pretty
yeah.
big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys had the audacity. All right, look. I don't know what went through their head when they were saying this. I think they were doing it for clicks. If they did it, they did a good job. If not, then they need to think really hard about this.
Okay.
So, there's a thing they said that was kind of a controversial thing in the CDO world and slash people that are reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
So they talked about that Warzone is a lot harder than the CDO, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if they didn't think, but the reason why these guys are in the CDL is because they're the best players in the game at that current time. So everyone in the game, everyone that's on in the league in the CDL are the best players in the league right now to play. They're the reason why they're in the league
Mm-hmm.
because they're the best players play in the game, right? Anyways, these guys had the audacity to say that these guys only do is hold an angle and that's it. That's all they do. They don't think they're smart enough to. They think Warzone is harder than playing in the league. But if you think about it, let's be real. Warzone is just you playing pubs because you could be going against a dad who's drinking 5 beers in the background, getting off from his 9 to 5. In the CDL, we're talking about people who play the game every day, what they do for a living, what they get paid for every day. You practice against them, you play against them. These guys shoot the straightest than anybody right in the world because they're pros at it. There's obviously, there's always, they were saying that this guy could compete. Obviously, another team. Yeah, these guys, but it's not easy. You gotta learn how to rotate. You gotta learn a strategy, how to hold the spawn, how to block.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, you're not doing it against some casuals on a 9 to 5 that work at 95. No, nothing wrong with those people.
Mm-hmm.
But those people are killing half of the time. Hopefully this isn't faded or this goes fucking viral. What I'm saying. But I don't look, I'm not saying these guys can't compete in the league. But it's gonna take some time because they have to learn a different way of the game.
Yeah.
Some of them might have the knowledge. Don't get me wrong. It's COD is COD, but you just gotta play it a different way depending on what game you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
So it was I don't know what they were thinking when they said this. Um Hopefully it's not but I just think that it's more to it than because Warzone you're playing against a bunch of randos. The league CDL you're playing against best players in the world, right? So it's almost every day. You practice against those teams too.
Yeah.
So so I don't know what they were. I think hopefully they were doing it for clicks. If they weren't doing it for clicks, that was the most fatest thing ever. I need to know what you think or what you like. You're like what you think. What they said was like.
Well, I was thinking of an example I could come up with, and it's a little outdated, but it actually kind of fits. Think about this: there were Halo 5 Warzone tournaments, right? And
Mm-hmm,
there were Halo 5 competitive tournaments, right? Obviously,
mm-hmm.
both factions were good at the game, but if you were to put them head to head, undoubtedly the people on the esports side are better. Because they practice against the greatest players, not just in the region but around the world. And COD, it's a similar thing because Warzone and like the main COD are like they're the same game, but they're different games. Like COD itself, especially on the ranked side, which is out, has a it's built around competition. Warzone, when you go in, like any other battle royale, it's open to people of all skill levels. Sure, there's some like skill-based matchmaking or whatever, but it's not like you're getting in a lobby of only the greatest Warzone players of all times. Hence, you have people making like insane montages or whatever against some people who are bots and some people who aren't bots. You know, whatever stuff like that. Obviously, Warzone tournaments are a bit more skilled when it's just Warzone people that are like practice the game.
Exactly.
But like
Exactly.
if you were to put like the average Warzone player isn't going to be better than the average CDL player. Go ahead.
Do you notice the way when these guys that play Warzone play the game like every day?
Mm-hmm.
You see how they play the game when they're playing against random? They run at them, they push them, they do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
When they're playing a tournament against every good Warzone player, they try not to fight nobody. They try to be slow. They try to get simple kills, easy pick off kills.
Mm-hmm.
You notice how they play the game two ways?
Yeah.
You notice how COD is played comp is played almost the same no matter what?
Yeah.
It's literally I don't know. I mean, obviously, there's only one game mode I think that players play differently is search.
Mm-hmm.
But that's search. Obviously, your life is valuable, and obviously, Warzone, your life is valuable. But the difference is if you're playing against like every day, playing against a bunch of casuals, and you're like, okay, obviously you're the best player in that lobby, right? Let's just say, obviously, you'll get a couple good players, but if you're like the best player, you know you're the best player in the lobby.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen all these guys drop 30, 40 kills a game. But when they go to tournaments and play against other skilled players, as skillful as them, 2, 3, 6,
I mean, there's
11 if
also
you get lucky.
what I was thinking of, like, I think I mentioned this to you before, and this might be a bit of a controversial opinion, but like battle royales are a bit hard to be competitive in the first place because of the randomness. You drop on
Yes.
the map, not everybody starts with the same weapon. Not everybody can find I forgot what they're called, like the shield plates. You know, like it's completely random. While in COD, you go in, there is a rule set. You already know what weapon you're going into with the match. You already know how much health everybody has in the match, what armament everybody has, all that stuff. It's very you know it's very competitive. You know
There's a
it's structured.
structure. There's
Yeah,
a
it's
structure.
structured. Warzone and like any other battle royale is very random. You could be the greatest Warzone player, but you could have like a really bad landing spot and to just get knocked out instantly. It happens too, sometimes from time to time.
Yeah. Yeah,
So.
no. We're not trying to say that the Warzone players aren't good because these guys are skillful at what they do.
Mhm.
If I wouldn't like. I'm not trying to say like I could go in there and do it myself. I can't. There's another level to this than everyone else. I'm not trying to say these Warzone players aren't good. They are good because of they're really good at what they do because that's what they practice and what they do every day.
Mhm.
Same with the CDL. They're good at what they do because of how much they practice. But the way they play the game are two different ways. And I'm not look these guys in the league. The reason they value their life so much that it's you. I mean, how do I can scratch that? Um,
And I think in
but
the league, every
the
death counts
it
massively.
counts. Because one death could change the outcome of a spawn and the way your team goes, and how many points you lose, or how many, or the I guess the the structure that you have no longer is messed up, or like you're holding the spawn point, you die, you lose that. That's where the team spawns now.
Mhm.
Your team needs to pick that up to know what's like. Oh, he just died. He didn't spawn near us. That means they're gonna be here, right?
Mhm.
So not trying to bash no Warzone players. Obviously, there's skillful Warzone players no matter what. Majority of them are ex pros.
Mhm.
So just to say, but I'm not trying to start conversation. I think everyone is good at what they do, but to say that all of these COD pros just do is hold an angle and play brain dead, it's pretty dumb. Um, but like I said, I'm not bashing nobody. I'm just saying that what those guys we're talking about what those guys said was the most faded thing ever.
Mhm.
Because obviously that's not true. Everyone should know. Obviously, people are gonna say that, oh yeah, CDL players are better than Warzone players. There's some that can compete with these CDL players.
Mhm.
Given time, if they put time into the game like the CDL players, they could be good. Because obviously, top Warzone players have good aim. That's what it is,
Yeah.
and they got good movement. They have good game sense. Um, but like he said, battle royales are a hard game to call competitive because you could have a bad landing spot. You don't get good loot. You don't get good plates. I mean, you're um. It's just weird. It's weird when the CDL plays it. Pros are against pros all the time, no matter what. Even when they do pick up games, you're still playing against pros. Um, obviously, you see the difference when they play ranked. Like, if you've seen the rank clips,
Mhm.
these pros are showing why they are pros and why they do these to regulars or high. They're the reason why they're there. And then Warzone, obviously, they do what they do and they're good. But when they go to LAN and they play against other best Warzone players, they play it differently.
Mhm.
But I'm not trying to bash nobody. I'm not trying to cause no controversial stuff. I'm saying that what those guys said was a faded take, and they got to rethink about it, or at least have more knowledge of what they said before they say something.
Mhm.
Um, I'm not trying to say that I know everything, but at least I know that what they said was faded, and I think it's everyone is good at what their respective what game and what they do. So, like I said, I'm not bashing nobody. I'm not trying to bash Warzone players. I'm not bashing CDOs. I like watching those tournaments, but just the way those tournaments and then how they're played out, they're played. One is played almost the same every day, obviously, and the other one's played differently depending on the outcome.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm not bashing this. What I'm trying to just get another sense of like what those guys said and what was faded.
Yeah.
Obviously, the CDL takes more than just holding an angle and being brain dead. So same way it goes with every other sport. Halo's played a certain way. Um, Rocket League is played like every game is played a different way. Not just a dumb hold an angle and that's it. It's all and they play brain dead. Like that's just dumb. Um, you know it. I mean, LCS. I mean, League of Legends. I'm gonna say League of Legends. Obviously, the only difference we know is how the North America play, how the Europeans play it, how the Chinese, the Koreans play it. They play the game differently, but they all have a sense of way they play it.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they're playing against pros no matter what.
Yeah. It doesn't
And
matter
people that
what
play
region they
League,
are. If they like
exactly.
NA Pro, despite like being considered the worst region, NA Pros play against casual League players of any region. They smoke them still. They're pros. They have a
They're-
different sense of the
yeah,
game than like the regulars who play the game.
they put so much time into the hours. They know what works and what doesn't. So, yeah, like I said, the game can be the same. Warzone is played. Every game is not going to be the same way. No way. There's no way.
Mhm.
Battle royals will never be played the same way. You just can't. It's just unpredictable. You go to the same spot. The box that you got first game won't be there the second game. The loot you get the same first game, you don't get it the second game.
Mhm.
Yeah, you might get your loadout, but it won't be in the same. It's just the game is played differently every time,
Mhm.
and you have to adapt on the spot. That's how they play their game. I know I'm dragging this on, but it's like it was like a big deal.
No, I get what you
You
mean.
know, yeah. So
Yeah.
not bashing nobody, but just know that esports and Warzone they have their way they play it. Um, I don't think these comp players are just brain dead and just hold an angle.
Mhm.
Um, League of Legends, they play their game, same meta, but they just have a different style. There's a different style they play League there,
Mhm.
and it's a great way. It's a good experience to watch different styles clash. Well, besides when NA playing against like Europeans or not Europe because NA's trying to catch up to Europe in a way.
Yeah.
But when they play against the Chinese and the Korean teams, their styles do not work against them because Korea plays and China play the fast paced league. And I didn't know, like, if you want to learn league, I bet you watch NA because they take the game so slow. You won't see that much of a high kill game. Rarely. Fuck, goddamn. I was watching Gen G versus T1. Motherfuckers are dropping 20, 15 kills.
Mm.
and then they'd be dropping 8 each, the max. I mean, it's they just play the game differently. So it's just before you say something that you might think is controversial, think about it before you say it.
Yeah.
Um, but what those guys said was, in my opinion, a faded take or a dumb take, or not a very educated
Hmm.
take. I'm gonna say it perfect. It wasn't an educated guess. They just said something, thought it made sense, but didn't really have the knowledge of what really behind it.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah.
That's I'm done with that. Just that's what I wanted because that happened I think last week and we didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
So I brought it up now, even though it's a week I think a week old now. But I just brought it up because it just felt like we had to talk about it because it was a big deal in the
Hmm.
esports pod world. Um. So yeah, but
Moral of the
yeah, we
story
could
is,
talk about
if you're saying something controversial, make sure you can back it up, because those people were not able to back it up.
because when I was watching him, I want to hear what his thought process was. Like
Hmm.
I wanted to hear what he was gonna say, like reason why Warzone was better than these guys. And all he said was all they do is hold an angle, and they play brain dead, and they just throw their life away. I'm like,
Hmm.
let's see.
Hey, that's just how it is, man. We'll have to see if he ever sends anything. But on to the other shooter game. Halo Infinite
Halo.
had a massive announcement. What was it? A few days ago. So
Hmm.
big thing is that seasons are no longer going to be a thing. As we've seen in the games ever since season 5, we had back to back to back free 20 tier operation packs, which have been nice. And it looks like that's the way that they'll be going forward. There's going to be an operation for about a month. Then after that's over, you get a new operation, a new one, and no more will we be buying battle passes. Which means if you have your leftover 1,000 credits from the previous battle pass, you can spend it on anything. You just get free stuff. So that's nice. But it's also concerning because it seems like during the update they were talking about, they're now starting to move resources away from Halo Infinite and towards the next big thing, which we all are assuming is the next Halo game. So it seems Infinite is in its last year of support, which is this is its third year, which is around the same time that Halo 5 started to wind down, where they started to focus on building Halo Infinite. So who knows what will happen when Microsoft goes to their next big event and announces, "Hey, Halo." I don't even know what they would call it at this point. Halo, since they dropped the numbers, what would it be?
Halo.
This Halo, the
I
next new
don't
Halo
know.
game.
I mean, it just doesn't. I mean, the literally the whole point of it, heavily called Infinite, was to have it for a longer period of time.
Yeah,
I mean, unless they just go back to the numbers, like what did it stop at 6, 5? So
this
it would be Halo 6 technically.
technically this is supposed to be 6, so it would be Halo 7.
No, but it's called Halo Infinite. There's no way they could literally find a loophole and go to 7, or call it 6. I don't know. This game was supposed to be in your what you told me was a 10-year cycle,
Mm-hmm.
which would have been the first. I mean, this Halo would have been the longest Halo
Everlasting. Yeah.
that ever lasted, and
Seems that's not
from
going to be the case.
I think they just took a long time pushing the product and updates out a little quicker. I think their fan base is they thought they could get their fan base back with the recent updates, and they brought a couple people back. I mean, the game is now a lot more playable, but was it a little too late?
It took two
I
years
mean,
to get to this spot, where it's actually now a solid, almost complete game. But 2 years is too far. So a lot of people didn't come back. They went on to other games. They went on to COD. They went on to CS. Some are on Overwatch. You know, Valve. Yeah.
Valorant. I mean, yeah, they weren't. I mean, these people were tired of waiting. It was just long overdue, and they just took too long. And I think this is like the best Halo Infinite has been since the release. There was a good update, but once they released a patch, remember the game,
Mhm.
and then I guess when they moved over to the BRs, or I mean, the Bandit, the game looked like it was heading in a better spot. But then I mean, it brought back a good amount of people. But was it a little too late? Like, was it really? Was it something that they should have pushed a little quicker, uh, or just, or should they have waited to release the game? Um, I don't know. It's pretty sad knowing to hear that they already are in the process of already working on that project.
Mhm.
Hopefully they're just saying this just hopefully we get the Halo BR. Hopefully maybe that's what the big project could be, but we don't know. But from what Mike Mokhtar said, I was about to call you something else, or I was gonna stutter and say something your name, but in a weird way.
Mhm.
Mokhtar said, um, um, who knows if they're making the Halo, um, uh,
Well,
or
from
because
go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say like because of like they saying that they're working on the next. That's when Halo 5 started
Mhm.
to stop producing more updates frequently for the game. That's when we started working. I'm guessing on Infinite. Seems like we're working on heading to that same cycle again.
Yeah,
If
I
it
think.
goes this way, it's a little sad to see Halo turn into this. They've always were a big key part in the FPS world
Mhm.
because that's what kicked off that more than anything.
Mhm.
Um, I think the game's good. I just think if they keep it updated and added more stuff to it, obviously we haven't had anything new from the campaign, even though they said they were gonna add more stuff. We haven't got anything, so I mean we'll see. Obviously they haven't the HCS we're about to talk about in a second.
Yeah.
Their roadmap and it looks like there's less tournament.
Mhm.
Season's gonna end a lot earlier, so starting to get a little concerning for the HCS. Um,
I mean, there's a lot of things for Halo. I think last year we saw that Certain Affinity, which is one of 343's partners, was saying that they're going to. They were the ones that were dedicated to working on the Halo BR, which was supposed to be for Infinite, but as we've seen, they've pushed that towards whatever the next Halo title is going to be. So there's still going to be a BR, it just won't be for Infinite. And it seems 343, they're hiring a lot right now, so you can tell they're ramping up to build the next just Halo game. And for Infinite, we can tell stuff is slowing down because for this new season, usually the seasons come out with like a new big team battle map and then two new arena maps. We're only getting one arena map and that's it. There's no new weapons. There's a weapon skin. There's a new battle pass, but it doesn't have much battle pass. I say operation pass. It doesn't have much stuff in it though. So like you can tell they're moving away from Halo Infinite. They're just trying to get the last stuff that they had ready for it, and they're winding down to get into a spot where it can at least survive by itself for a while, like how H5 did in its last 2 years until we get the new Halo game, which is like we said, unfortunate, but that's what we
we
have right now.
I
Um,
don't know. I don't think this was gonna last as long as H5 did. In my opinion, I don't think it. I think H5 uh was more dynamic. A bunch of teams. I mean, there's not even a SWAT community. There's all still playing H5.
that's the wild part. H5
So
had a lot of stuff that allowed you to still make content on it after there was no support because there was an insane amount of weapons, there was an insane amount of game modes, there was an insane amount of stuff that you could combine with all of them. I think if you've seen YouTubers like Ubernick or Mint Blitz, they were on there doing their montages, doing like weapon only challenges because you could have a normal AR, then you could have like a Covenant AR, you could have like a Promethean AR, and they all function differently. Well, Infinite's last new weapon was the Bandit, which is just a DMR. So it's
well, not even a new weapon technically.
yeah.
Well, yeah, but this is a newer version. The other one had an Evo. This one has a scope. Or was it the other
The
way around?
ranked one has no scope, while the ranked one has a scope, while the first version had no scope.
No, okay, that's what it was.
Yeah.
My fault. That's
So it's
my
just
bad.
like it's the same weapon with a scope and slightly different aim assist and firing time, but like
I
things that
don't
they were
think I
saying.
don't I haven't seen the regular one since they announced the new one.
Yeah, I think it's only in quick play now. So
I think it's only in I used it in Fiesta. That's
yes,
it. But I
yeah.
don't. I mean, the gun was brought in for no reason because they just brought another better version of it.
Mm.
So it was just a waste of a weapon. They brought two new weapons technically, but it's just the same one,
Yeah,
and one's
it's
better than the other. So
it's been weird. I know they said that they're gonna work on making the UI for the game better, which will be interesting. But yeah, it looks like Infinite is slowing down and it's bleeding over a little bit to the HCS, but the HCS also doesn't look necessarily too bad. We still have the exact same teams we had towards the end of last year. The roadmap came out for the most part, where we're starting off in early February, leading up to the very first major hosted by Optic, which will be in March 15th to 17th in Arlington at Optic Arena. And then after that, we'll have the next segment, which is from late March to mid April. And then we'll have a May major held in London, which will be cool by quadrant. Then we have the big one, which is what I'm excited for. Yeah, from early June to mid
It's
June.
not the big one. It's just the big one for
It's a
us.
big one for us, but from early June to mid June, which leads to a major in July hosted by FaZe Clan in Atlanta. And then we have our last big event for that before Worlds, which will be from early August to mid August, and then a big event in September, which will be in Salt Lake City Major, held by the Pioneers. Yeah, no, Space Station,
No,
Space Station, and then of
Pioneers don't
course,
exist. Remember?
yeah, and then
And
of
then obviously the
course,
big one.
yeah, Worlds is always in Seattle, the home of Halo. So in October, so we're starting from February, ending in October.
Pretty short.
It's a little bit shorter of a season. At least we had 3 majors last year in Worlds, so we do have an additional major this time. But of course, also the big issue of Halo is that, of course, most of our events are online, and then we get like 3 days in an arena. But nothing we can do about it at this point. From what we've seen, it looks like the new arena map will definitely not be in ranked, because I'm not sure if you saw, but there is a middle passageway that if you walk down, anybody who's in it gets camo as long as they're in it. The second you walk out of that middle passageway, your camo goes away. But as long as you're in it, everybody has camo. And I don't see the pros playing with that at all. So,
Unless they tweak it for just rank, but I don't think it.
yeah, it's probably just going to be a social map. But besides that, obviously, we're also getting the new bundles for the ranked, the pro teams. They're also bringing back the year one launch skins for the teams that still exist, and they're making them cross core. So if you own skins of teams that don't exist anymore, like Envy or E United, you can still use those now on any Spartan you want. Those are limited skins. Your account is worth something. So
I got a worthy account.
exactly. But besides that, yeah, that's really it for the Halo news. Besides our Halo news, we played in the Louis Vuitton 2v2 tourney on January 20th.
Which was yesterday for us.
Yep. It
I don't know.
was an event.
It was like, well, Louis Vuitton has kept the Halo Infinite uh comp scene well fed with him hosting these tournaments. Obviously, tournaments holding. He's held 2 tournaments to be exact. Held the 2v2 and a 4v4. So he's been a key part to the ACS4. So he's been hosting his own tournaments. They have their drops too as well. They have exclusive drops. So um, good for him for keeping the community fed with these tournaments. So yeah. Oh yeah, like you said, you could proceed. Sorry, I had a
No, you're
cut
good.
in.
We played. It was our first proper HCS event in 2 years.
2 years since the game dropped, since the beginning.
And if you know anything about us, when we go on these events, we always end up.
Wait.
Go
This
ahead.
dates back even to H5.
Yeah.
Just know that, right? But go ahead, say what you gotta say.
When we play these events, we always have the worst draw, right? Like there'll be 100 and something teams that apply, and we always end up going against one of the pro teams, like either right off the bat or quickly soon after. Either that, or we play a team who isn't a pro team, but they're ranked much, much, much higher than us, and we have no dang clue what they're doing, which is what happened to us yesterday because we went up against one of the top Onyx players duos in the game,
Two of it,
and
yeah,
we
yeah.
got smoked. So we went to the losers bracket, and we went up against one of the older pro teams. And the thing is that when we play pros, we actually play pretty good. When we played the random Onyx dudes, we had 2 kills total for both matches combined. When we
Yeah.
played against, and you have both kills, so there's that.
Oh,
When we played against the pro
dude,
teams, it was like actually close. We were able to like,
no point. We were able to get more than a couple kills, and I feel like they play the game differently. And then I mean, we've watched a bunch of pros, so we know how the game is played out and the flow of it.
mm,
That's how we try to mimic our game. And obviously, when someone doesn't play it that way, it throws you off.
mm,
Yeah, those guys, the first people we played, I don't know what type of style that was because it was not even hectic. It just felt like the game was slowed down. I felt like I wasn't playing against nobody. Like there was no one on the map. I
mm,
was just dying to catch for the ghost because that was the slowest game of Halo I've ever played.
mm.
but they played as a team, and that's what it was. And they obviously we don't play Halo that much,
Yeah.
so they know spawns obviously, and they know what our key stuff is. Obviously, we need to play a lot more stuff like that. But we played it just to play it, just to have a good time. Just
Mhm.
something we tried out. Um, but yeah, obviously that game didn't go well. The first series didn't go well. Then we played up against a pro team. No, I feel like we had more of a chance. Not a, I don't think. I mean, I don't know about winning it, but I feel like we could have put up a fight in a way where if they weren't shooting back, we could have won a game. But obviously,
I would
they're
say
pros. They play the game a lot.
for the game that we played against the pros, our shot wasn't bad. It's just we still don't have spawn trapping down to a T. When we were able to find them out, we were able to hang with them, which is why the score was like 25 to 15, 25 to 17. Like it was actually close. But they were just better at holding spawns and seeing where would spawn and react to that faster than we could get out of that spot, you know? So if we were to play, like Angel said, if we were to play more frequently, and since the area is going to be the duos playlist is going to become a permanent ranked playlist starting January 30th, more practice, more experience, better results. So I hope to play more HCS events this year, especially since this potentially might be the last year. It's too early to tell, but who knows? So we'll see. But it was a good learning experience. The winners, if you want to know, were Spartan and Boobadooboo. They won. They played against Renegade and Frosty.
Pros. Yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
pros won obviously. So and they won 3-1.
Pros.
So
Okay. I
yeah,
mean, uh, yeah, our luck is bad. But yeah,
it's all
talk
good.
about the disaster of COD Warzone rank play opening day.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
That's something we got to talk about because I just remembered about that right now. So, a couple days ago, I think Wednesday. Was it Wednesday or Tuesday? It was either Tuesday or Wednesday of this week, which would be it was either uh the
It was definitely
16th or the
Wednesday. This
17th. It
Wednesday.
was one of okay.
Yep.
COD released their big mid-season update, um, and they introduced rank play, and obviously Warzone introduced nukes and high contract stuff, mainly the nukes. So, with all due respect, we all knew this was gonna happen one way or the other. I knew rank play wasn't gonna come out that day. They were teasing it that they were saying they were gonna delay it until like later the day. When they say that, I knew that was happening. Warzone broke. It was unplayable. It was pretty bad. But they did fix it. They did fix it within a day or two of each. Rank play came out the next day and it works fine. So I've been playing that. I played that literally after we got smoked. So yeah, not fun, but yeah, yeah, the Warzone and COD community died for like a couple hours, but it's all working now. So rank plays it's really good. Played a lot of it, and I actually got my first YouTube video edited and ready to upload on my channel. So whenever that comes out, it should be sometime soon. So
Basically,
yeah,
Wednesday was like the worst day in COD history in a long, long time. The game was just
literally,
broken.
literally like what happened last year with ranked.
Mm,
So it happened again. Not surprised. But
which is
they
good.
got it fixed. Everything works fine now.
Yep.
I just had to talk about it because it was somewhat of a big deal.
Mm.
I don't know why we almost went
Glazed
over our
over it.
heads.
Yeah.
But
No, you're
yeah,
good. Yeah.
it's good now, and yeah. But we can move on to general
General news.
news.
I think 2 days ago, there was a Boeing 747 cargo plane that took off from Miami International Airport, and a lot of people captured footage of it because it was at night. Um, I don't remember which engine specifically, but one of the engines flamed out midair, so you just see sparks flying off the engine. Luckily, planes can fly with one engine, so
Wait,
the
oh, so it's not even the one with the plane and the seat coming out of the
no
goddamn
no no no
plane?
no no that was like 2 weeks ago. This one
Okay,
was
well, we
pretty.
didn't even talk about that one, but yeah, okay, go
Sure.
ahead.
This one was able to return safely back to Miami Airport. It was just like, it's funny reading Twitter and people like, the plane caught on fire. They're gonna die. Oh my god. Bro, it's one engine. It's sparking out. They can shut it down. He can glide all the way back to the airport just fine. There's no issues. Just be calm.
I
So,
think flying is like people's big fear. One of them.
mm,
I I don't care. I always leave it on the plane. The plane's like so calming because it's just quiet and no one's talking. and you're just in the air, and then you're just floating. So it just feels calming.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, uh, I mean, I don't know if people don't know about planes, but like you said, planes could work. Um, they were gonna be fine. It would have been worse if it did it on both sides. That would have been an issue, and I don't think the plane would have even taken off if that happened. I
Even
think they
if
would have they would have caught it before they took off.
even if both engines flamed out mid-air, plane's high enough, it can glide all the way back to the airport.
They were gonna be okay,
Yeah.
unless it was like on fire,
Yeah. Then
which
it's
it
an issue.
wasn't. Then it's an issue.
Yeah.
But it was just sparking, and they caught. Luckily, they caught it before anything. I think they would have been okay, but they were gonna be okay.
Yeah.
But at least they caught it before it could have gotten a lot more hectic. I don't. They were gonna be fine.
Planes are very safe. There's nothing to be worried about. So
Yeah,
versus the other
planes are.
plane incident that you were about to bring up was the one where the one of the back doors got desuctionized and blew off, leaving a somewhat gaping hole on the rear of the plane where some passengers are sitting. Luckily, nobody's sitting near that door, which is if they were, that would have been scary. But fortunately, nobody was sitting there. The plane was able to make an emergency landing. Everybody was fine. But it is definitely one of those nightmare scenarios. Like you're just
That
sitting
was so
there.
trolley, bro.
You're
Those
just sitting.
people didn't. They didn't show up to their flight. What was the reason they didn't show up? They just didn't make it, or
I
they
don't
didn't want to.
remember.
There's a thing about it that they didn't want to. They just didn't. They didn't go on the flight because of I don't know. They just didn't make it, or they didn't want to go anymore to the trip, and they just didn't bother. I don't know.
Mm.
But what are the odds that, like, what are the odds that those people that didn't show up to their fight had that seat, and then that happened? So good thing no one got hurt. That was the more important thing. No one got hurt, and yeah. But it looks so trolly on Twitter with the videos coming out.
It's
Uh,
just, hey
no
man.
one's like when I watched the video, no one was like yelling or screaming or freaking out.
No,
Did you
you
see it?
just yeah, you just chill. You pull out your little oxygen mask and put it on because it's depressurized, and you
Dude,
just
they were just
chill.
grinding it. They were like, "Oh my god, look at this," and that
Well,
was
that's
it.
it. Well, remember we were talking about the Miami thing, like with aliens and
With
stuff.
the,
Like nobody recorded that because it didn't happen. But obviously, when the door flies off on your plane,
holy shit! I
everybody's like,
gotta
"Whoa!"
record.
It's just that's people. That's what people do now. When something big happens, they don't think about their safety. They think about whipping out their phone and getting
You
it on
know,
film.
they want to go viral, brother. That's why.
Hmm.
So you telling me no one caught a glimpse of these damn aliens, bro? They caught a glimpse of a goddamn. Yeah, I mean, we know it's fake. That alien stuff. I mean, if it was really that true, it would have been all over the damn news.
Hmm.
And I don't think I told my mom, like, Mom, did they talk about aliens on the? Like, she's like, what? No, we're talking about the goddamn plane. Some plane's door coming off. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, that's all the news I needed to know.
exactly.
If it ain't on the Hispanic news, it's not real.
I heard it first from him. But, yeah. Be careful what you believe, especially on Twitter, because there's some wild stuff flying around on
Don't
there.
worry, Twitter corrects everyone's goddamn
They
thing.
try to
That's
with
the
community
good thing
notes.
about. That's the good thing about Twitter community knows. That's the one thing I like about them. I was like, I know this is fake. This is real. This is mis provided
Misinformation.
information, and this is stuff that's yeah. So
That's been the best thing about it. But on to I think our last story. As you know, it's cold again today. It's like it's really cold, and it's been cold across America for the past week. But I think today is supposed to be the last really cold day for most of the country. We're going to be going into almost a pseudo heat wave with some big storms rolling in later this week. So we're going from cold weather all the way back to that nice or somewhat not nice spring torrential rain, lightning, some tornado
it's supposed
weather.
to rain for like a week, right?
Yeah,
Almost a week.
yeah.
Let's see. It's supposed to start Wednesday. Wednesday, 60%. Well, this is to be corrected. This is Atlanta, Georgia.
Mm.
That's Norcross area. Not no, but Wednesday 60%, Thursday 70%, Friday 55, Saturday 55, and this is not even like, and it probably could go up.
Yeah.
So
No, we're just swinging in
bundle
between
up, stay
winter and
warm,
summer.
and
So
drink your hot coffee and cocoa because going. Wait, no, wait, it's not cold no more. That was the
drink
ignore
your
what I just said.
Starbucks ice brewed tea and Yeah, that's about it. Your cold water bottles and your G Fuel.
If you're a gamer, yeah, G Fuel.
Exactly. Besides that, I don't have anything else for general news. Do you?
Not really. Not really. Uh,
Oh, I guess we're in the end of, well, at least nearing the end of January, which means the beginning of February has America's biggest sporting event, the Super Bowl. I've
oh,
not been
okay.
following the NFL,
Oh,
but
oh.
I don't know
I
what's
thought you
going.
were gonna say, oh, February, the biggest a holiday in the month is on that day. I'm like, no,
No, I'll talk about that
nothing
later.
ever, nothing ever good happens to me on that day. So, but yeah, the Super Bowl. Wait, were you gonna ask me that? What were
Yeah, I was
you
gonna
gonna ask me?
ask you. I have not been paying attention to the NFL at all.
Okay, what do you want to know?
What's it? Who's going to the Super Bowl? Who's looking like they're going to go to the Super Bowl?
All right. Uh, well, as of today, January 21st, 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Today's games will be the Patrick Mahomes Chiefs versus Josh Allen's Bills, and we got the Detroit Lions who haven't been to the playoffs in about 30 years. So it's a big monumental thing for them. So and then they played the Buccaneers,
Ah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So the contender, the heavy favorites at first were the Eagles, and the Eagles Cowboys were heavy favorites, and yeah, they got bounced first round. They got
Okay.
exposed badly. So Eagles were favored to win until they lost 6 games in a row, plus the playoffs. Cowboys, Cowboy fans. Nothing wrong with you guys, but you gotta be reasonable sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You can't say it's your year every year and not do shit. No offense, I don't hate nobody. Maybe just Cowboy fans. Um, but yeah, don't say it's your year every year if you're just gonna end up doing the same thing every year.
Mm-hmm.
So don't say it's your year until you actually get to the Super Bowl. Um, 49ers are favorite to make it to the Super Bowl. And then obviously the Baltimore Ravens are already in the AFC Championship, and so is the Niners. So those are two, the number one seeds are now favored to play each other.
Mm-hmm.
But if you know football, football could be one way or the other. Uh, Patrick Mahomes finds a way to make it to the Super Bowl even with a bad team. So, but in my opinion, I got Baltimore and the Niners, and I think I have the Ravens win the Super Bowl.
Oh, you don't see the Buccaneers going to the Super Bowl?
No,
No.
no, I do not.
No.
But I think they are a good team. Um, so yeah, got the calling. But yeah, let's end the podcast now because we're about to
Yeah.
get.
All right.
So
So
yeah,
that's our news for this week. We will see you guys, of course. Well, this goes live on Thursday. We'll see you guys the week after for episode 13. But till next time, thank you guys for watching Conquest. Be sure to check the description for our links to our socials, our Twitter, or Instagram. If you want to suggest us anything, be sure to leave it in the comments. We also appreciate your support on our YouTube page, channel. Same thing. And we will see you guys next time.
see you.